So they always said when you get into class, they go, look left, look right. One of you is not going to be sitting here at the end. Okay, so that's half will be gone. Then you say, okay, that half gets winged. Then they go to all their different areas. So only so many go to jets. Okay, so that's a smaller group again. Most pilots in the Navy are helicopter pilots. They're like over 50%. So a small group goes to jets. Then a smaller yet group would go to Tomcats. And then later on, the Hornet came out. And now there's a lot of F-18s. But it gets smaller and smaller. Then you say, okay, now you're in an F-18 squadron. There might be 17 pilots in an F-18 squadron that have 12 airplanes. Mm-hmm. And so that's a small cadre. So of 5,000 people on the ship, only 36 of them, 36 to 40 are dropping the bombs. So the officers are the ones that are going off the pointy end of the boat and doing the business end of things by dropping bombs and shooting missiles. So it's, there are 5,000 people. So we only have this small cadre that are getting the war fighting done, but everything else is in support to that. So the numbers are small. Then when you say, okay, we'd have 800 people that are flying the F-18. Then we select this small group each year. Then from that, we'd only select 4 to 6 new instructors per year. Maybe 8 would be a lot in 1 year. So think about 8 people in the entire Navy, maybe only 6 in a given year, would be selected to be Top Gun instructors. So at the time I was there, my staff was about 36. And I'd say of F-18 guys, there were probably 18 to 20. Mm-hmm. And so that's a very, very select group of that 1,000 that are out there. And I to tell you the quality of that individual, or let's just say the capability, their, just ingrained sense of, maneuvering the airplane and getting it to a certain place, and in 3 dimensions, the maneuvering ability, just like the Blue Angels are kind of one program. It's very disciplined flying, but it's air showmanship, and Top Gun pilots were like, these are the best of the best, and guys that could just, they'd take you out, they'd kick your ass so fast you wouldn't believe it. I always tell the story of, I thought I was pretty good. I went in there, I had thousands more hours than the other guys did that came in, my staff. And so I thought, I want to fight the best guys. So I said, oh, okay. Now I'm a commander, been in the Navy, I'm in my 30s, I think, in my prime. And I said, oh, okay, well, we got this one guy. We'll send you out with him. And I'll tell you, Louis, it wasn't pretty. He kicked my ass in about, a long fight. 1 versus 1 is 2 minutes long. That's a long fight.
Wow.
A short fight might be 45 seconds. But this guy was so good. And he knew exactly what my next move was going to be, and totally anticipated where I was going, knew within 5 knots of what my speed was. I was like, oh, my God. And I go, yeah, he's really good. He's amazingly good. I have a lot to learn. But my role as the commanding officer was not to go out and beat up on students. It was to, really sell the program and what the program is all about, go to Washington, D.C., and I was the CEO marketing the thing, So I was the salesman of the class and the course that they had just created. So the genius is, and the productivity all lies within these lieutenants. And they were really, really good at what they did.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like it. Oh God, that's funny. I'll tell you what, I'd love to do a dogfight one day, but I always thought they were longer than that though. Like in my head, I would have always thought it was a bit longer than that, but wow, interesting to think that the things can kind of change and that can be over so quickly. But yeah,
the fight would go on longer than that. Now, yeah. You might have a setup, and there was a very well done one by the F-14 community one where the Mark Fox, call sign Mert. If you get a chance to listen to that, he describes this mission going into Iraq. I think day 2 of Desert Storm going to, they called it, they had a name for the field, but I think it was Talil. Mm-hmm. And in fact, we attacked it later on, but he describes this engagement. Now, it takes a long time to describe it, but he's describing minutes, but he breaks it down as to what's going on and all the stuff that's happening. So, a mission into Iraq, it might take 4 hours to do, but you're taking off, you're tanking, you're joining the group, you're going in country, and then you come back, then you tank on, and then you attack, or you don't, you tank on the backside. It's a very long evolution. You might be going 700-800 miles each direction. So, but if you engage someone, that terminal part, which is done probably around at 20 miles every minute, everybody's going Mach 1, that's 1 minute to close 20 miles. And these, they may pop up on radar at 40 miles away. There you are. You're a couple minutes away from engaging the guy and passing him, and then trying to figure out on radar, what is he? Who is he? Is he one of us? Is he one of them? Is it somebody that's turned into the strike group, the wrong direction? So I'm going to tell you, the time compression and how fast it happens, just watching it, having another airplane pass you at, when we have closure of, say, 1,200 knots, it's unbelievable. And you're 500 feet away from a person was the rule. We couldn't close 500 feet from metal to metal or graphite to graphite, when you engage them. So it's pretty fun stuff, to tell you the truth, when we do it, in practice, mock combat is it's pretty intense, to say the least.
Yeah, I can imagine. And especially with like the advancements now in the kind of the anti-radar stuff as well, it must be getting harder and harder to identify what's actually on that radar too, especially now considering all of how things are advancing so quickly. But yeah, if we talk about like the reality side of Top Gun then, so obviously during your time at Top Gun, the first movie was coming out, and obviously that was insanely successful. Like it was huge. It blew up. It was everywhere. How different was the culture of the real Top Gun and the classes in the day-to-day life from what was portrayed in these movies? And in the reality of Top Gun, would you describe it more as like a fighter pilot boot camp, or more of like the Harvard of military aviation?
Well, the class had changed from when I was there. It was short. It was 5 weeks. And we'd work 6 days a week. So there's one of the big differences. It's, we may go over to the club on Saturday night and have a beer, but it's not all the frivolity that you saw in the movie, that everybody's at the bar and you're briefing in the hangar. It doesn't happen. The briefing spaces are very professional. We go through the mission, and, any one flight's going to take, half the day. If you flew twice, you'd be there for a 12-hour day. So by the time you're done, you go back to your living quarters, study up some more, crash out. But it's very intense. Then the later course, when I was the commanding officer, became 10 weeks in length. I'm pretty certain that's what it was, because we try to do 4 per year. So it was really grueling. There were some weeks that we'd fly 7 days a week. And so we're doing it up on the, instrumented ranges and recreating it. And so boot camp to me that's when you're just starting out. These aren't people that are starting out. These are people that are about 7 or 8 years and have probably got 1,000 hours in type. So